Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and I'm on a mission to spread peace, love, and positivity through music. Today we are going to be checking out the song Blinded by the Light for the very first time, and we're actually going to be checking out the original version by Bruce Springsteen first, then followed up by Manfred Mann's Earth Band's version of the song Blinded by the Light. Apparently, this song, originally by Bruce Springsteen, did not get as much a coverage or acclaim, and Manfred Mann's Earth Band, they came along, they picked up the song, they re-envisioned it, and it became an absolute hit. So apparently there's a big argument about which version is better, and really I haven't heard either, so this should be a very fresh perspective for you all today. I'm excited to check these out, but before jumping into this, a massive thank you to Rodney the Sincere for making this donation request. As always, Rodney, I really appreciate you. But now, let's just jump in. We'll start with the Bruce Springsteen version, aka the original.
Madman drummers, bombers, and Indians in the summer with a teenage diplomat. In the dumps with the mumps as the adolescent pumps his way into his hat.
I like the strumming pattern on the guitar.
On my shoulder, feeling kinda older, I strip the merry-go-round with this very unpleasing sneezing out.
Do you hear this like subtle droning note kind of above Bruce's voice? It's kind of hard to explain. The pitch is da, but an octave higher.
With this very unpleasing sneezing and wheezing, the calliope crashed to the ground.
It's still up there. It's still there.
Snapping his fingers, clapping his hands. There's some flesh bomb mascot was tied to a lover's knot with a whatnot in her hand. And now young Scott with a slingshot finally found a tender spot and throws his lover in the sand. There's some bloodshot, forget-me-not, whisper daddies with an earshot, save the buckshot, turn up the band. And she was blinded by the light. Oh, cut loose like a deuce, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light. She got down, but she never got tight, but she'll make it. All right.
I like that it turned down a little bit there.
Some brimstone, baritone, and I cyclone, rolling stone, preacher from the east.
Okay, I don't want to pause it for too long here, but right now I'm like having trouble for some odd reason like identifying the overall structure of this song, except for in that section there where I knew we were coming out of the chorus into like a post-chorus and now we're returning to a verse feel, but somehow the instrumentation feels busy enough that it's hard for me to identify exactly the role of each instrument. The sax is the one that's like most pronounced in my mind. Then second would be the guitar, and then I guess third would be Bruce's voice.
Baritone and I cyclone, rolling stone, preacher from the east. He sells deep from the dictaphone, hit it in the funny bone. That's
And
where
then bass
they
at 4,
expected least.
because I do like that bass tone.
Some new moon chaperone stand in the corner all alone, watching the young girls dance. And some fresh soul moonstone was messing with his frozen zone to remind him of the feeling of romance. Yeah, he was blinded by the light. Oh, cut loose like a deuce, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light. He got down, but he never got tight. But he's gonna make it tonight. Some silicone sister with a manager's mister told me I got what it takes. She said I'll turn you on, son, here's something strong. If you'll play that song with the funky breeze and go car, Mozart was checking out the
Ramping
weather,
again.
trying to see if it was safe to go outside. And little Early Pearly came by in her curly whirly and asked me if I needed a ride. Oh, some hazard from Harvard to Skunk Dom Beer was playing
That worked well.
Backyard Bombardier. Yes, then Scotland Yard was trying hard. They sent some dude with a calling card and said, do what you like, but don't do it here. Well, I jumped up, turned around, spit in the air, fell on the ground, asked him which was the way back home. He said, take a right at the light, keep going straight until night, and then, boys, you're on your own. And now ends Zanzibar, shooting star was riding in a sidecar, humming a lunar tune. Yes, and the avatar stepped below the bar, but first remove the cookie jar. We're gonna teach those boys to laugh too soon. And some kidnapped handicap was complaining that he caught the clap from some mousetrap he bought last night. Well, I unsnapped the skull cap between his ears. I saw a gap and figured he'd be alright. He was divided by the light, cut loose like a goose, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light. Mama always told me not to look into the sights of the sun. Whoa, but Mama, that's where the fun is.
Oh, we're getting a little fade out. That is a very interesting song. I think this is the kind of song that it's hard for me to get every detail on the first listen, and maybe that's just like a general statement, but especially for this one, it felt like there was a lot of elements happening in parallel that would make it hard for even, like the very seasoned music listener to pick up on all of these things at once. And I've gotten pretty good at my like parallel processing and understanding and picking up on the different roles of each instrument in a track for a first time listen, but there was a lot going on here, so I'll go in the order that things stick out to me. And the first thing that really became apparent is this song has a lot of lyrics. They're not necessarily dense lyrics per se, but there are a lot of syllables being sung, and they change outside of the choruses, right? So it feels like the entire song is filled with Bruce's vocals, and there's a lot of movement and rhythm in that, which it already accounts for a lot of that feeling. It's interesting to me then to add a lot more surrounding instrumentation, slightly covering up his vocal performance and making it a little bit more difficult for me to give my full attention to Bruce. It's their choice, they can do what they want. I think for me, I would have preferred a bit of a leaner song, like a bit more parsimony, because I think all of the instruments being there wasn't a problem, but I think each instrument maybe did a little bit too much. Namely, I will say that the guitars were probably a little bit too pronounced. The shakers were a bit too much in some moments. I think the sax played a very adequate role. It definitely like accented moments in a way that other instruments certainly could not, just given the timbre of the saxophone. But there was just a lot happening at once. And in the first pass, when we got to the start of the second verse, I had made the comment like, this is hard for me to kind of wrap my brain around structurally. And I think I will amend that comment to be more, it's hard to wrap my brain around all of the movement in the mix. Because though it's like in this pocket of feeling like Bruce Springsteen, each of the elements combined are kind of overflowing on this track. And I think like the main lyric, Blinded by the Light, should be the moment we can all kind of come together in consensus. But at least in this studio version, it feels like a bit of the lyric there is de-emphasized because of how many instruments are vying for the spotlight. That's just my like cursory take on things, but we'll see. We'll see in Manfred Mann's Earth Band rendition how they viewed things and how they opted to change the version of the song around. So I'll hear that one, and then I'll give my final thoughts for which one I prefer. Let's check it out. And I should mention, we've done I think 2 Manfred Mann's Earth Band reactions on the channel. They're a fun group. Great rock influence. Very like sci-fi-esque feeling. Oh, yeah. I like the halftime feel in the drums already. Less is already going on in the mix. This feels like a totally different song, but I think this version is already winning me over a bit more. It's simpler to digest. Though there are distinct components, they're all mixed far enough apart that they don't step over the top of each other. They don't bleed into one another. It's fairly distinct. Wrapped up like a douche under the runner in the night, blinded by the light. Wrapped up like a douche under the runner in the night, blinded by the light. Wrapped up like a douche. Some silicone sister with a manager mister told me I got what it takes. She said I'll turn you on sun into something strong. Play the song with the funky break. Mozart was checking out the weather chart, see if it was safe outside. It's very stripped back, relaxed. And Birdie came by in his curly-whirly and asked me if I needed a ride. Asked me if I needed a ride. Well, she was blinded by the light. Wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night, blinded by the light. See, now the blinded by the light sticks out more. Down, but you never got touch, she's gonna make it to the night. I think this version wins. She's gonna make it through the night. Oh, that's tasteful. Like immediate chills on that. This completely overhauls the song. The potential is endless here. Also, what an interesting album artwork here. Super cool tone. Come on, come on. Take us away. Oh, the halftime feel out of nowhere.
Some brimstone, baritone, anti-saxon, rolling stone, preacher from the east. Says teeth from the dictaphone, hit it in its funny bone, that's where they expect it at least. It's the newborn chaperone standing in the corner, watching the young girls dance. And some fresh soul moonstone was messing with his frozen zone, reminding him of romance. Wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night, blinded by the light. Wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night, blinded by the light. Wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night, in the dark through the months as the adolescent bumps his way to his high. With a boulder on my shoulder,
Wow. Love the dual melodies, the call and response. Sometimes it overlaps.
She got down, but she never got touched. It's gonna make it through the night.
If you're looking for my opinion, I think you know the answer. This Manfred Mann's Earth Band rendition just steals the show for me, but please leave it in the comments, hopefully without my bias, which version, if you have one, did you prefer? And I'll give my partial reasoning, and I think it kind of dovetails with what I said about Bruce Springsteen's version, which is the original, right? I think the original version is just too busy overall. It feels like when you're trying to remember a lead melody from the original Blinded by the Light, it becomes far more of a mental challenge slash exercise to recount the important melody of that version when you compare it to that same task for Manfred Mann's Earth Band. Now, if I were to run like a scientific experiment using two different groups and expose the first group to Bruce Springsteen's rendition and ask them to recount the melody and do the same thing, but for the MMEB version, I think people in the second group would have a far easier time recalling the melody, probably with quicker speed and more accuracy. You know, all of that like scientific mumbo jumbo aside, I think just on its face, the second version is, I think, more well composed. Things come together in ways that, you know, there are moments of overlap, right? Don't get me wrong, where some of the melodies are bleeding over one another, but it's very tasteful. It doesn't feel redundant. It doesn't feel like true bleeding into each other. If anything, because you have one layer of guitar piercing through the left and then 50 milliseconds after another guitar layer appearing into the right headphone, and they kind of take turns step stoning. Even though you're not able to fully pay attention to one layer, you're paying attention to the overall movement. It's like you're doing this game of leapfrog, and as time moves forward, you're just able to seamlessly jump between the most important layer at a given time. Therefore, my previous comment about stealing the spotlight doesn't exist, because this version is more of a passing of the baton. We also got some modifications in terms of the guitar work, and some of the atmospheric elements that appeared in the MMEB rendition. And I just think it all worked remarkably well, and all of that in service to the main line, the title of the song, Blinded by the Light. As I said, it should, when you have like songs that, you know, have a specific line that you want to have people remember, you're going to have to let that moment breathe and maybe repeat it in a way that you still have more room for the listener to like fully digest it. Hearing MMEB's rendition, I could understand it, enjoy it, process it immediately. I had a bit of a harder time doing that with Bruce Springsteen's rendition. So I think that's all I have in my brain. Let me know what you think about those two versions. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed my reaction and would like to make a request yourself, you can do so by clicking the first link in the description box below. But as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.